Hi everybody, this is Nate. Welcome to my channel and welcome Helen here
Haute couture. Oh my God, we've already started.
for our heroes and villains. Well, that was an interesting week. I had a lot more heroes than villains. This is not usually the case.
No, and you noticed I had very few.
Very few heroes and very few villains. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. You couldn't find any, or maybe you were
Well,
short on
I
a
actually
little.
I actually found a second hero and I struggled with including it in heroes and villains or putting it in the funny part. And I decided that I'll only talk about this hero in heroes and villains, and we'll elaborate more on the funny part. So if everybody wants to know the backstory, they'll have to join
It's
us for the funny
And when Helen means funny part, she means a funny video on her.
video. Right. I
Yeah.
usually call it a lighthearted conversation.
Yes. Yeah, that's much nicer.
Try to make
All
it
right.
sound more than it is.
So you want to get started with your heroes, your villains, or what?
Let me talk about my hero because I'm clinging desperately to hope here. So I saw a speech by the president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, and he is extremely upset with our dear leader. He called out the United States for sinking boats in the Caribbean. We've now sunk. We sunk. We have it. We did sink. I don't know. We bombed. 21 people dead, and nobody knows for a fact who was on these boats. They're calling them uh, drug traffickers. And what the president of Colombia said, this is an act of tyranny. He said this is starting a new theater of war in the Caribbean and South America. He says this is the prep, and I feel this really strongly, especially in relationship to the recent Nobel Prize. It's the preparation for regime change, right? And in with him, in collaboration with him, Senator Schiff, told him that he would vote against doing this. There was a vote in the Senate this week
Oh,
to block doing this action, and it lost. They can continue to do this. But the president of Colombia has really, in really explicit terms, he says there's no real war against smuggling. This is a war for oil. I've said that all along, right? This is a
no.
war for oil, and the aggression is against all of Latin America and the Caribbean, but it's specifically about regime change in certain countries. So this
Yeah.
guy is clear eyed. He knows what he's talking about. I agree with him. And good for him for having the courage, because anymore, when you defy the powers that be in the United
Yeah.
States, you're really sticking your neck out. Yeah.
Anyone else?
Well, yes, one more. Uh, the Unipiper. Never heard of him?
No.
Remember the Unabomber? Okay, well, there was a nut in the 70s who was running around mailing bombs to universities and corporations and
Oh,
professors who were involved in cutting down trees, mostly, assault to the environment in his eyes. He was not okay. And the Unabomber was a phrase that the FBI created. UNI stood for university.
yes.
Okay. But this guy kind of is playing off of that name. He is a guy in, um, in Portland, Oregon, who is a street performer. And he travels all over the world now doing this, but he got to start in Portland, Oregon. And what he does is he rides a unicycle, hence the name, and plays bagpipes.
Mm.
And often the bagpipes are on fire. He is one of these magician kind of people that can
Oh,
deal with fire and not die. So he's wears a Darth Vader helmet to cover his face, And usually he wears a kilt, but we're going to talk about that later in our lighthearted conversation. So he gets on a unicycle with the Darth Vader helmet and a kilt and flaming bagpipes, and he performs on the street just because it's important. And I just give him credit for showing up when there are demonstrations and protests. He does it in support of
Right.
movements and things. Yeah, it's not just for fun. He does it for serious things. And I think it's creative. We're talking about it, it attracts attention, and it also provides people with a little humor too. And I find that cathartic. So I wanted to give him credit.
What are we reading on?
Well, let's read on the situation in bombing the boats. And
Yeah. Well, how
let's
would we?
ask the cards, how accurate is the president of Colombia? His assessment.
So is the US trying to get oil through this?
And regime change. You know who we're talking.
Yes.
I'm using a new deck of cards. People are going to ask me. Oh my God, I can't find the box. Well,
Yeah.
it's the El Toro deck. It's for the two of us, the El Toro. Oh. Damn, they stick together. What did you get?
The Seven of Wands, more battle, fighting. You got two.
Seven of Wands, yeah.
Five of Cups, sadness and disappointment. Like I feel like there will be more people probably passing. And the Four of Wands, that structure and regime. So not only I feel like it's an attack for a regime change, but there might actually be a regime change.
I agree with you. I got the Seven of Wands as well. Same interpretation. I got the Three of Swords. Not good. And then remember what he said, regime change. Combine that with what I said about the recent Nobel Prize. Two of Cups.
Yes.
And the Queen. Queen of Pentacles. This is about her specifically. She wants that job. I did a video. If anybody, I'm being kind of obscure about it. If you're interested in the details of what I'm talking about, I did a video about it this week. I think it's called Nobel Prize with a question mark.
And you're going to talk about her as a villain anyway, so we will know more about that in a little bit.
Oh, you're right. I'd forgotten. Okay.
I have two groups rather than a single person here. But obviously the Israeli hostages are heroes. How you stay a hostage alive and the mental strength for that long.
Can I add the Palestinian hostages as well? They get ignored,
Of course. That's fair point.
Yeah. I don't know how you would. I think it would affect, the rest of your life you would suffer the repercussions. Yes. Yeah.
But it's true that there's been a lot of focus on this Israeli, and I mean, a life is a life, so there's no one better than other. And I'm not disputing that. It just feels very hard for usually those younger people that were at the music festival.
I think about that too. They're completely not political. They're out having a good time.
Yes.
Horrifying trauma.
The next one, even though I admit that I don't know much about her, but I always had a good feeling, is Diane Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
Passed Um, and the more I research, it feels to me like she was a good person.
It was really funny. You know, she was very, for a while there, she
Also
was
doing
the
things
actress.
for women's rights
Oh
and
yeah,
at the
yeah.
forefront. So I think she needs to be acknowledged for that. And last and not least, there was this huge fire at a historical Italian monastery, and the 20 nuns figured a way of escaping. And
I
that
saw
takes
you write it down. I on purpose did not look into it. I want to hear the story.
I didn't, it just like, they figured out a whole way to escape and helping each other. And I can imagine, like, when you are a nun or priest and your mind being so focused on spiritual and religious thing, when deep material things happen like this, I felt like it would be easy to panic.
Oh, I'm playing devil's advocate here. You know
Yes,
I
yes,
love you, right? Um, Most of the nuns that I knew were very practical people. Many of them were nurses or
right.
administrators or teachers, because you know those are the only jobs women can have, and they combine too, teacher and nun, nurse and nun. No, they were very practical, independent people, and they built schools and they ran hospitals. I don't think that's surprising at all. People have the wrong impression of nuns. Nuns are not all doddering old ladies who do nothing but pray and embroider altar cloths. I never want to be a nun, although I did tell my husband right before 2020 and our unfortunate event. I was just disgusted with the way the world was going. And I told him, I think I could easily live in a cloistered order if I didn't have to pray all day. If it weren't
Yeah.
for
As
if
long
I could
as there's
watch TV.
as long as there's a library, I think you would be fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Uh,
right.
you're right. Maybe this is me not really giving them enough credit. Uh,
You know
it's
what comes to
coming.
mind, Nate? I hate somebody yelled at me for interrupting you. I'm sorry. You know what comes to mind though is that they're in an old monastery. Aren't those things made out of stone? How do they even burn?
I haven't looked up the whole thing, but maybe I put myself too much into this. When more often than not, I'm not really. I have my 2 feet on the ground, but my head is really kind of up in the sky most of the time. I would not be able to really deal with a fire. I would just panic. So
Yeah,
I
we've
would.
seen that actually.
um, I have a fire extinguisher in the room, but I still don't know how to use it. So the but I just okay, well, let's just say like I admire their courage to come out of it and do a great job escaping. So, what are we reading on? Those are very weird groups of
I think
hostages.
we should read on the hostages and
Yes,
how
but
they're going
what?
to,
Yes,
how are they going to be moving forward? What's coming from this experience?
yes, and we consider whole hostages, but specifically the Israeli hostages that um how will they get through? Yeah. Oh, not very well. No. The Two of Swords, they feel a bit stuck. And I can imagine, like, it's typical with hostages, like guilt, fear, guilt that they survive and some didn't, and all of that. This one really broke my heart. The Eight of Swords, feeling a hostage.
Yeah, yeah, the trauma of
Feeling.
it.
Yes. And then the Knight of Cups tell me that there will be help and support, but it's going to be hard.
This is interesting. This looks terrible. The actual artwork is very dark, but I don't think I'm interpreting that way. The King of Cups. Look at this picture. I got this for Halloween, by the way. Um, they're going to experience a lot of support and a lot
Yeah.
of compassion and adulation, I think they're going to feel very guilty that they got away with something, that they survived, and the
Equal
survivor's
survival
guilt.
game.
And I got the Three of Swords again. I think
Um,
this is going to be a very difficult path for them. Have you ever read any of the autobiographies of the hostages in the Middle East? Remember the embassy, and they were taken hostage, and Terry something. He was like a minister, and he was taken out. I read there were a couple of different autobiographies that came out when they were finally released from captivity, and yes, it's remarkable how you center
yeah.
yourself to survive something like that on a day-to-day basis. It's very difficult. Yeah.
Moving on to villains. Okay, Trump. I know this is an easy target. I was really shocked at the Knesset when in Israel, where he talked about working on an amnesty to Bibi, to Netanyahu. That was not discussed with any. I mean,
Yeah, I was going
how
to ask
that,
you something. What does that mean? He's not the Hague.
well, yeah,
He's
of
not
course,
the
he
UN.
obviously doesn't have that power, but it is so clueless. I mean, he wanted to talk with the president of Puerto Rico, so I mean,
You kidding me?
no,
Oh my god! I'm sorry.
I mean,
Oh my god!
it's so clueless. So, I mean,
That's I'm why nothing surprises me. Did you see the crowd when he was talking about Netanyahu? He mentioned Netanyahu and he got booed.
no, I only watched like when he was in the Israeli parliament, the Knesset.
Yeah, this was a different
Yeah, yeah,
speech. Yeah.
event. But I mean, so he doesn't have that power, fair point. And I mean, yes, this is international law. I mean, so my rant. The next one, of course, it is an obvious Pambandi with the Letitia James indictment. I mean, literally Trump gave her a job, find me Democratic Democrats, find me victims, basically. And she's doing it.
You know who she's going after next, right? I told you this,
Uh,
right? I told you this
it,
weeks
as
ago.
far as I'm concerned, it yes, you mentioned Adam
Yeah,
Schiff. Yeah,
yeah.
but why not Hillary Clinton? Why not
She will.
Obama? Why
She
not
will.
Biden? Well, I mean, there's no limits.
I know. And did you see the Saturday Night Live skit? Oh my God. She played Pam Bondi and Tina Fey played Christy Nome. It was great. It was so funny. It's on YouTube. You can watch it for free. Just that little, vignette. YouTube. It's
And then
great.
something that we talk about in the whole Heritage Foundation Project 2025, Russell Vought with the shutdown and the plan and not paying people, not just furloughed, but I met people who are working.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they realize the checks stopped coming.
What they do traditionally, it doesn't happen very often that they shut down like this, but how it's handled in the past is you have essential workers and those who aren't. Those who aren't, they just go home and they don't get paid. The essential workers are required to stay at their job and do their job, and they don't get paid. But when everything starts back up again, they
And they
get
get,
back pay, right? So now Russell Vought is doing exactly what they said they would do in Project 2025 and what I predicted. And people lost their minds and said, I was being hysterical and I'm sorry to blow my own horn, but it was very frustrating. They came out and said, we want to get rid of the bureaucracy. The federal government, it's a waste and we want to get rid of it. And they spelled out in detail that they were going to eliminate tens of thousands of federal jobs within the bureaucracy. And people thought, oh, they can't do that. Well, they're doing it now. This is what they're doing. How long do you think you can work as an employee of the federal government and know you're never getting paid for it? How long do you think you can pay your mortgage and feed your children? People are going to have to walk away from their jobs. So maybe they can take the stand that, well, they quit. We didn't fire them. They
Yeah.
quit. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what are we reading on? I think we want to read on who. Let's just try to predict who would be Pam Bondi's next target.
So should we name a name and draw a card, or maybe name 3 people, lay a card down for each person? I mean, how do we do
I
it?
was like thinking, not just see, like maybe they would show male, female, a little bit of information about them, or
That card just jumped out. Let me see what it is. Yeah. 7 of Pentacles. They're trying to decide right now. They're evaluating.
okay, King of Wands. So that would.
Who do you think that is? I think it's somebody
And
in the
sure, they want to.
somebody in the legislature.
Friend, yeah, it is clearly a power play.
Got the same card again. I'm not going to even look at that. The King of Cups. You know who I
So
always got
female,
this card for?
Biden.
Yeah. So I think it's either Schiff or Biden.
Or it could be Obama.
Do you think that the country would go insane if he did that? You know, Obama is beloved by people. There are a lot of, you could say a lot of negative things about the way that he did his whole corporate democracy thing. But he's a very significant symbol in American history, and he is beloved. I saw a video the other day. It made me cry, and I'm pretty hard boiled. And all it was a series of photographs of Obama while he was president talking to children. I mean, boy, they hit me right where it hurts. And, you know, just his ability to connect to people and his genuine pleasure in, you know, how cute the kids were, and interacting with them, and the expressions on their faces, the amount of respect they had for him. I thought, oh my God, this feels like 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Am I making you cry? I'm sorry.
No, I like him a lot too. I like him a lot. Yeah. Well, passing on the torch to you for your villains.
Oh God, please don't get mad at me. Our illustrious Secretary of Defense, Department of Defense, who came out the other day and announced he is, I didn't read it carefully. I was so upset. He's either returning the honor or bestowing the honor for the first time on all of the soldiers, the cavalry, the guys in blue on horses, who fought the genocide at Wounded Knee and killed over 300 old people, women and children, Native Americans, wiped them out. Unarmed people sleeping in an encampment, and they descended on them and slaughtered them. And he wants to give them all medals because they're great American heroes.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I'm disgusted. And then my second one is Maria.
I mean, yeah, that one is a shocker.
Okay. So everybody knows that the Nobel Peace Prize was announced, and everybody knew what we feared, because I felt like, are they going to capitulate too? And they announced that it was this democratic activist from Venezuela, part of the opposition party, who has Machado. Yeah, what did I say?
No, you didn't say the name. Okay. Why I brought it up. Yeah.
Who's been an opposition to Maduro, the dictator guy, and very in everybody's face about her support of democracy. And I thought at first, oh, thank God, I can't believe that, you know. And then the next day she came out and thanked President Trump. And I was like, what? My red flags went up. So I researched her. I did a whole thing on her the other day. She helped to unseat a democratically elected president in Venezuela in 2002 because she opposed him. She got him out, democratically elected. She is best buddies with Netanyahu. She's close friends of Marine Le Pen in France, and the Dutch fascist
Oh my God.
what's his name? I can never remember his name, but you know who I'm talking about, right? She is closely aligned with fascist movements in Europe. She is closely aligned with fascist government in the Middle East. She identifies with the Likud party of Netanyahu. She's pals with Netanyahu. And I did cards on her. And what I got was she wants Maduro out because she wants to be in. It's a power play.
And the icing on the cake. To win the Nobel Peace Prize, you have to be nominated by someone. You know who nominated her?
No, I don't. Who?
Ah, I know something you
I
do.
don't,
That's
I don't
not very
know.
often.
Who to me? Who?
Marco Rubio.
Please, sir, may I have another?
Which
Marco.
at first I was like, wow, what a slap in Trump's face.
No, he was given, he would not do that without being told to do it.
So that was already another red flag.
I guess I'll say this. We all need to keep our eyes on what's going on there with the bombing of the boats and the speaking out of other countries around them. And this woman is not who she is, a lamb in sheep's clothing. And it is very much about resources. For her, it's the position, the power position. I looked up the Nobel Committee because I wanted to find out what was up with that. Now, would my misapprehension was that the Nobel Committee was made out of noble people, that it was peace activists or former recipients or, good people. That's not how it works. And I don't know who these specific people are, but this is the process. They are appointed every year and they're selected from business leaders, government leaders, money people. So not to say that each and every one of them is a terrible choice.
No.
I can't say that, but I'll just say they're not what I thought they were.
Yeah. Okay, what are we reading on? I have a question. Was there some sort of Trump's intervention to get Machado selected, nominated?
That's your question?
Well, I don't know. Maybe you have a different question.
No, I think that's a really good question. Yeah.
Was Trump
Did
involved
he
in
tell Dubio, or did he tell Dubio? Did he tell Rubio?
Rubio?
Did Trump tell Rubio to nominate her? Put her name for nominating.
Huh. The lovers. So there was a deal, an agreement. Ace of Wands, the power.
I shuffled these like crazy. I keep getting the same cards. This is very weird. Huh. Very weird. Well, I got the Eight of Swords. I got the Seven of Cups. There is some serious
Illusion.
misrepresentation going on. Yeah. This is all
Made up.
yeah, thank you. There's a plan, and they're not putting her forward for the reasons they say they're putting her.
Yeah.
She's not an activist for democratic governments. And I got the Four of Swords. I think it's to get rid of Maduro. It's to get him out.
Yeah, there's something brewing there. We know that. Yep. We're gonna have to follow that very closely.
You know,
Well,
I'm obsessed. Yeah.
well, Helen, thank you so much for being with me. Thank you everyone for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, check Helen's channels, comment, like, subscribe on her channel, and please let us know in the comments below who were your heroes and villains of the week and what you think of all this. All right?
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you,
Yes.
Nathe.
Thank you, Helen,
Bye,
and we'll
everybody.
see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.